I'm Jackie Pickering with the Ion Networks, and today we are joined by a very, very special guest, Mr. Joe Roth. And Joe, my goodness, your credentials go forever. Former chairman of the Walt Disney Studios as well as 20th Century Fox, founder of Revolution Studios, and now the new proud owner of an MLS expansion team in Seattle.
That makes me sound ancient.
It doesn't make you sound ancient, well accomplished, I think. Now, can you tell me a little bit about this expansion team that you've decided to, a new venture that you've decided to bring on?
Well, I love soccer. You know, I coach my kids playing soccer. I played soccer myself, and I really feel like it's happening now in America. All these kids are playing it. It's a great opportunity, and I think Seattle's a terrific place, and a lot of people are interested and excited about us coming up there. We're going to start playing next year.
Now, why Seattle? What drew you to that state?
Well, so many people play soccer in Seattle. In the state of Washington, more people play youth soccer than any other state in the country, 130,000. Plus, there's 80,000 adults that play night leagues in Seattle.
Now you mentioned the youth. I know that youth in sports has been a big topic over these last couple of days, how there's not enough youth coming into sports anymore. How does your team plan on bringing that demographic in?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to have a training facility where the professional team plays, and it's connected to the Washington State youth soccer, so that the kids who from 5 to 19 years old will be playing on the same fields that we will. So they'll get to meet the teams, they'll get to have identification with the players, and hopefully they'll want to grow up and be one of those players. That
would be an incredible inspiration for those young kids. Now I know this is a new team. You said they'll start play next year. Any ideas as far as a name or?
No, that's a sore subject. So what we decided to do, because we're really interested in democracy in sports, is we opened it up to the city of Seattle, and we've gotten 6,000 suggestions about names. So we're going through all the suggestions, and then ultimately what we're going to do is have a contest. We're going to narrow it down to 3 or 4 names and literally open it up to the city, and whichever name they pick, that will be the name of the team.
All right, way to bring it. Talk about a democracy in sports. Now, you're mainly known for your roles with studios, movies. What made you decide to go into sports, specifically soccer?
Well, I've always been a big sports fan, and I've been in movies for 34 years. It just never occurred to me that I could take my passion and interest in sports, all sports, and actually do something with it, on a professional level. And again, because I played soccer in high school and college and coached my son all the way through, and he played in college, I just felt like it would be a great challenge, and I love the game, to try to make the game a bigger game inside the United States.
How do you plan on doing that? Because, like you were talking earlier, soccer in the United States isn't as big as it used to be. I mean, with the arrival of David Beckham, obviously it's getting a lot more exposure. But how do you plan on making soccer more of a household type of sports, or get it into those top 4 sports like we have now?
Well, if somebody can figure out how to take the passion that a 5-year-old or a 9-year-old or a 13-year-old feels about playing soccer and extend it through, then it'll be a great sport in America. For some reason, when they get to be later teenagers, they kind of defect to other sports. So we've got to figure out a way to keep that loyalty that starts so early, because for most kids who play sports, soccer's the first sport they play, as a 4 or 5-year-old. And so we've got to keep that fan loyalty all the way through. If we can figure that out, then I have no doubt it'll become one of the major sports in America. Because after all, it is the number 1 sport in the world.
Yes. Well, do you have any ideas on how you're going to plan on figuring out that type of formula, if you will?
I mean, the 2 ideas that I have off the top of my head is, one is that we've got to hold on to our great American young players, so that the 14-year-old or 12-year-old has a role model, right? So they have their Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or someone like that. We can't continue to let those people go play over in Europe. So if they have a role model, I think that's better. And also the connection to the youth leagues. It's really a community and an extended family. If you feel like you're part of an extended family playing soccer, I think there's more of a chance you'll continue on all the way through.
And now, just so we can reach out to our younger audience, if you were talking to a young child right now, what would be the words that you would give them as far as something to motivate them to get into soccer, something to inspire them, to help them reach that level of, professionalism?
Well, soccer is the only sport played all over the world. So you're not just destined to play in Detroit or Chicago or Philadelphia. You can play in any city in the world because outside the United States, it's by far the most popular sport in the world. It's also, as a young person, the easiest sport to pick up. The ball is big, your foot is small. You know, you're not standing up striking out in front of your friends. It's very difficult to hand-eye coordination, or your hand to your foot is actually the first thing you pick up. And it's a great outdoor sport. It's great exercise. It's great for fitness. Both boys and girls can play it. And, you know, you can grow up and play it as well. And if you end up playing for a great team, you can become the next Cristiano Ronaldo or someone making $30 million a year.
Hey, you know, I wish I got started in soccer when I was young. Maybe I could be the next one. Longevity-wise, Joe, let's talk about what your ambitions or what you see the future of not only your team, but soccer in general in the next 5 years.
Well, soccer in the last 5 years has grown 15% each year in America. So there's a incremental growth. 17,000 people a game now is the average for Major League Soccer, which is a nice crowd. I think my goal is to make Seattle the soccer capital of the United States. There's no question about it. And to make sure the stadium is filled all the time, to make sure we have a really good team, and ultimately have a team that can go out and play on the great fields in the world, to go out and play at Barcelona or at Chelsea or Liverpool or AC Milan or someone like that.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Thank you,
It's truly
Jackie.
an honor, and best of luck to you and your soccer team.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.